Hey guys, so for today's video, I wanted to do a review on my iPhone 6, show you guys what apps I have on it, and basically that's it. So this is probably going to be a long video because I have a lot of apps, and I also wanted to tell you guys the backstory behind my phone because it's one hell of a story. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So before I even get into showing you guys the phone, the whole backstory is just ridiculous behind getting the phone. So normally, some of you may know from other videos, if you've watched me in some of my other videos, that I'm from California. So as of right now, I'm still on a plan with my parents for my phone. So I'm really used to every time I get a new iPhone, my dad's standing in line to get the phone, and I kind of just wake up in the morning and the phone's downstairs and it's already ready to go. So this year, since I'm still in college in Houston, I wasn't able to get that. So I actually had to stand in line myself. So going from being used to waking up and having the phone already there and then completely just standing in line yourself. So when I saw the iPhone, I'm getting all these text messages right now. So when I saw the iPhone 6 and they released it, I was like, I have to get this. I was going to order it online. It said it wouldn't get here until I think the end of October. As a matter of fact, it still till this day right now, it would not be here yet. So I still wouldn't have had the phone. I was beyond over my iPhone 5, so I basically just came up with the idea that I was going to stand in line myself this year. I went and bought chairs, I bought a tent, I bought all these snacks, everything. I was just dead set on standing in line. Like, I wanted my iPhone the day it came out. I didn't want to wait a month, and it just, I was just super excited. As many of you guys probably are like me, you've had an iPhone since the very first one. I've had an iPhone, actually, let me correct myself. I haven't had an iPhone since the first one. I've had an iPhone since the iPhone 3G. And that was the first one I had. I actually had the very first iPhone for maybe 2 hours and I took it back. So I've been having an iPhone since the 3G. So we've come basically a long way as iPhone users from the very first iPhone to this iPhone. So obviously the phones have never gotten this big, so I just knew, okay, I have to get this phone. Like, this is probably the most hyped up phone at this moment. I cannot miss out on this. So I have class obviously Monday through Friday. It just happened that something at my school was going on Friday, so school was canceled. So this is, mind you, this is the week of the actual release of the phone. So the phone is coming out, and I really just kind of did a drive-by thinking that nobody was going to be there, and when people were actually there, I started panicking. I drove back home, packed food, blankets, pillows, chargers, computers, iPads, phones, everything that you could possibly think of, my tent, the chairs, just everything. So I packed all of that stuff, drove back up there, set up the tent, and I think I probably got there about 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So I set up the tent, and at first I was really skeptical about being there because I felt like, okay, I'm sure that people, by the time nighttime hits, people are going to know that we're standing in line and they're going to try to rob us. Like, I just always think worst case scenario, and so I was panicking. And so basically maybe 20 minutes into me being there, a man put his chair down in front of me, well, next to me rather, and was talking to me, and we had a good conversation, and we ended up coming up with this idea. He had 3 other friends that were coming later, 3 other guys that were coming later, and so he was like, you know, we're probably going to order pizza. You're by yourself. Why don't you have pizza with us, and I'll pay for the pizza. And I was like, you know, I can pay for part of the pizza, just everything. So we ended up talking. They were giving me beer. We were drinking and all that stuff, and they were just really nice. They were including me in everything, making sure I felt comfortable, that I was safe throughout the night. Their friends came. Some of their friends actually showed up in the middle of the night that weren't getting the phone, that were just showing up to hang out, to pass by time. and they were nice, they were friendly, they introduced me to them. I just felt really comfortable. So mind you, time is still going by rather slow. They're letting us use the bathrooms inside the Apple Store, but obviously at some point the Apple Store is going to close. So I will admit I did have to use the bathroom outside, I think once. Yeah, I'm pretty good about holding the bathroom, so I went one time throughout the whole night after the Apple Store closed. So mind you, they closed at 9 o'clock. So after that, I went to the bathroom one time, I think. Actually, twice. I walked all the way, I think 2 blocks to a Walgreens or a CVS that was open, and I used their bathroom. And then the next time I actually went outside. So it was really a real experience just for the phone. And probably in the morning was when everything really went haywire. So everybody was starting to get restless. There was a lot of people in line. News people kept coming. It was flooding outside. I'm in my tent. It's flooded outside. It's just, you can just hear all the rain. Everybody's pretty much inside. And so I think maybe about 6 o'clock, 2 people from inside of the Apple Store came outside, and we're going to start taking orders to see how many phones to prepare and to reserve and all of that, so that they can tell people, okay, hey, you're not going to get a phone, you shouldn't stay in line any longer. So I think I was number 15 in line. By the time the 2 people from the Apple Store came out, everybody just started running, like just crazy. Everybody from the back of the line started running forward to the front of the line, basically cutting all of us. And so I was just like, you know what, like I didn't stand here for all these hours and sit in this tent and get rained on, and I'm not going to get a phone. Like, that was just ridiculous to me. I felt like things were very unorganized once the 2 Apple representatives came outside. So I just kind of weaved my way through everybody and was like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, until I got back behind the people that I knew I was behind. Like, I was playing no games. There is nothing like sleeping outside on concrete, not grass, on concrete for hours on end. I was not going to let people that showed up just this Friday morning at maybe 2 in the morning get in front of me when I've been here since Thursday afternoon. It was just too much. So basically, long story short, it's already long, but anyways, I ended up becoming friends with the people I stood in line with. We still communicate and hang out till this day, and it's very funny that you wouldn't think you would make friends with people in line to the point that you actually talk to them. I went to a party with them right after, I think the next day after we got our iPhones, we went to a party. One of them was having a going away party. So I felt really just great about the situation. And it's really funny because a lot of people were saying, you guys need to go to Apple with this story. Like, there's no way that you guys stood in line for this whole time and you guys are friends now. But they're really great guys, and I love hanging out with them. And they're not that much older than me, but they're not that much older than me, but they're still so much fun to be around, and they're just really laid back guys. Their wives are just amazing women. They're wonderful. But anyways, let's jump right into the iPhone itself. So basically, this is what the phone looks like outside of the case. I have AT&T, and I believe I got, so this is the space gray, or obviously black. It looks like that on the back. And I got a 64 gigs of space on my phone, and I was going to get a 32, but this time they didn't have 32, so I really just didn't have a choice. And I wasn't going to 128, and I definitely wasn't going to get 16, because on my iPhone 4 I went right through that 16 gig in like a matter of minutes. So this is what it looks like. It's very slender, very thin, and it's long, obviously bigger. And I do have a case on it because this is just too flimsy for me. I didn't pay all this money for this phone for it to fall, so I refuse to just leave it out of a case. So I obviously haven't had any cases for it. Like, they've had a couple of cases, but most companies, I think, are still trying to figure out the size and get their cases made. And I'm just not going to put any case on it just because, like, I mean, Spec has a couple cases, but they're not anything that I would really want. I'm not putting an OtterBox on it. And so I just stuck to the simple, I think this is a silicone case. So this is a silicone case from the Apple store. It was $34. I got it right when I bought my phone. It was already raining when I left with my phone, so I wasn't going to leave without a case. So it's just a silicone pink case, and it keeps my phone fairly, thin. So with the case on, it's still very thin. Love it. So I got pink, I think I said that, and the first color I actually had was red, and I just felt like it was an off red. I hated it, so I took it back an hour later and got the pink one. So let's jump right into the apps. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk, and I'm probably sick of hearing myself talk. So let's jump into the app. When I first hit my phone on, I just get this little background. I got this background off of Tumblr, and I just use my finger to unlock it. So here we just have basically the contacts, calendar, Safari, mail, pictures, camera, notes, basically all of the standard stuff. I guess I'm going to talk about the stuff that is not standard to the actual phone that I've downloaded. So the first thing that I've downloaded is Shazam, and it's basically like an app where if you don't know what song is playing, you can hit this button. Actually, not a button. You can hit this app, and it will take you to exactly who sings the song, what album it came off, and all of that good stuff. And then it shows you later on in here at the bottom what songs that you've already Shazammed. Next, I have Words with Friends. I think everybody pretty much knows Words with Friends. I'm not going to go into the app actually, just because of privacy for other people, and I don't want to give you guys my actual Words with Friends tag. And so, just a game where you build letters, and where you build words with the letters that they give you. Next, I have Facebook. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Facebook is. And I have Diptyque, which is a photo editing, or not a photo, kind of a photo editing, but basically I put my pictures in here to put them in collages and such. So I think I paid 99 cents for this, and I put stuff in boxes in here, and sometimes I make collages like I said. So the next thing I have is Around Me, and it's a really good app. I've had this since I think my very first iPhone, and basically you hit search. I'm not going to hit the search button just because of other places, just because I don't want to pull up the places I've been, and for you guys, just for privacy issues. So anyways, you just hit the search button right here, and it shows you everything around you. And they also have standard places like banks, bars, coffee shops, concerts, favorites, gas stations, hospitals. You get the point. So if something that you're looking for doesn't fall in that category, you can just hit the search bar, and it'll pull up every place around you that falls into that category. The next app I have is My Followers, which basically just is an app I downloaded a long time ago that tells me who unfollowed me and followed me on Instagram sometimes when I get confused. So I like that app as well. In here I just have all of my editing, vines, videos type of things. So I have Twitter for iPhone, Camera Plus, which I like. You can take a picture, or you can go here and choose a picture and edit it. So I like that. It gives you a lot of options. Keek is just another video app. And I have Skype. I'm sure everybody knows what Skype is. And I also have Square Ready, which puts your pictures in those little squares. They can be black or white so that you can fit the whole picture on Instagram. And I have Vine, which is basically what I do on my spare time. I'm obsessed with Vine. And I have PD, which is basically my period diary. I'm not going to really get into that just because I don't know if any guys are watching, and I'm sure it'd make them uncomfortable. So in here, it's just basically standard stuff that comes with the phone. I have my Instagram down here, iPHONE for Twitter, and I absolutely love this app. It's just, I like it a lot better than Twitter for iPhone just because I like to see people's Twitter names and stuff stand out, and I feel like everything on Twitter for iPhone is kind of jumbled, but I like the multiple account usage that you can have on Twitter for iPhone. And then obviously I just have my text messages here. Going on to the second page, I have all of my games here. Angry Birds Seasons, regular Angry Birds Rio, Temple Run, Subway Surf, Plants vs. Zombies, Water, Angry Birds some more. And so I normally don't play games. I normally don't play games on my phone, but when times are really rough, yeah, I play games. So the next thing I have is a Nordstrom's app just to shop clothes. I have Fandango for movie times, and in here I just have an Amazon app, a UPS, and a Wells Fargo to check my banking at the Wells Fargo, and UPS is usually to check my tracking, and Amazon is just Amazon. So I have Candy Crush. I'm just completely obsessed with this game. Like, I can't get enough of it. I think I'm on level 109. Let me know in the comments down below what level you guys are on, because I cannot get enough of this game. Anyways, I have Blackboard, which is for my school to check my grades, assignments, teacher announcements, YouTube to watch videos on the go. I have iHeartRadio right here, which basically lets me listen to radio from back home, the stations and all that. I have Google Voice. I don't really use it. I don't remember why I downloaded it, honestly. Next, I have Netflix. Now that I have this somewhat big phone, I like to watch TV shows on here sometimes, and especially while I'm at school if I don't have my iPad. So I have USA Today, CNN, KHOU 11, and those are all just for my classes because I am a broadcast journalism major. So we have to be current on news, so I like to have those apps handy. Celly is basically just an app that we had to download for our class, and so that's nothing really special. It's just a way for us to communicate with our teacher. I have a Walgreens app which lets me print out pictures from my phone, and I think it does other stuff, but honestly I wouldn't know because that's all I use it for. I have Kaiser Permanente app. So I'm from California, so my health and all that is with Kaiser, so I can see my medical records, check up on tests and stuff like that from there. GarageBand, iMovie, iTunes, Keynote is all standard stuff that comes on the new phone. I think some of this stuff came on the iPhone 5S, but I didn't have that phone, so I'm not sure. I have Tumblr. I get on there every now and then, not really. I have Google Plus. I don't really get on there either, but my cousin runs a business on there and I like to check up on it sometimes. And I have Google Hangouts. Sometimes we Skype with our teacher and she lets us know about updates about things, so I think that's pretty cool. I have Hulu Plus, obviously, to watch shows. 4 Picks 1 Word. I haven't played this in a long time, but it's basically a game where they give you 4 pictures and you have to figure out what the word is, and they give you letters and all that. So the last page, I have iBooks so I can read my books every now and then. On my phone, I have eOnline to keep up with my celebrity gossip. And I have a Serve American Express app, which basically shows me how much is on my account when I deposit money on there. And the next app is Pick, Play, Post, which is basically you can make a collage of pictures and you can also insert a video. I have the Apple Store, so when I'm in the store, if I want to make purchases without walking up to somebody, I like that. Also, I have Pages, which is like Word. I have Pandora, which I listen to music on there sometimes. Two Dots is just another game that I have. Pump Up is a workout app. I think I mentioned it before in one of my other videos on my vlog channel. Also, I have Fitbug, which keeps up with how many steps I'm taking, how much walking. I also have Fitbug, which keeps up with how long I'm walking and steps and working out. And I think with Facebook you have to download this messenger in order to message people. Numbers is just another standard thing that comes with the phone. Top Hat is another thing that I do for school. It gives me extra credit. It lets me see the slideshows that my teacher's working on, and I can see them up close and personal. Smash Hit is just another game. Cam Ranger, I haven't used this yet, but I've seen people talk about it, and it can connect your iPad to your camera so that you can get a better view of what you're filming. I should have actually used that for this video. So health, podcasts, tips, and Find Friends is another standard thing that comes with the phone. I'm not going to get into those. Find My iPhone, I think everybody has this. And this BB racing game, I've played it one time. It's okay. Uber is basically a taxi pickup service in a sense, and so let's just say you get too drunk at the club and you need a ride home, but you don't want to drive. So Uber is pretty cheap. They'll pick you up from your location and take you home, and it'll let you know all the Uber drivers that are around you. I would open it to show you guys, but it'll show my exact location right now, so I'm not going to do that. And obviously I have Snapchat. And if you have Snapchat, let me know what your Snapchat is in the down bar below, and maybe we can Snapchat together one day. Bye guys, thanks so much for watching. That concludes my iPhone 6 video, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!